the single bowline on a Bight. Hello everybody, welcome back. And oh, hang on, let's do it. Morning men, starboard 10. The buffer. Yeah, bit of a nautical knot again today. I think the bowline is a bit of a nautical knot. Some may disagree. But anyway, today what we're going to do is we're going to tie the single bowline in the Bight. And for those of you who know the bowline in a Bight, you'll know that in fact it's a double bowline in a Bight because it has two loops at the bottom. And the main difference, and another main difference, other than this, the top one here has a single loop running off it. You'll notice that the actual loop is running parallel to the line, where the double bowline on a Bight, the two ends are going up to my left there, and we've got the two loops at the bottom of the line. So that's the main difference there. And also, having consulted Ashley's, I've got two variations of this knot to tie. And for those of you who are interested, up on your screen now will come a little bit more information. And if you missed it, that information will be down in the description below. And also, once again, if you have experiences with this particular knot, let me know how useful it is. And leave me a comment down below, please. Okay, so anyway, let's get on and let's get knotting and tie the single bowline in a Bight. Okay, so as you can see, I've got my cordage in front of me. I don't have access to either end, and so this is how we put the single bowline in a Bight. And it's very, very simple, very, very easy. What I do is I get hold of the bottom end here, and at the bottom end, I form a bight, just bring it round. In fact, we're forming two bights here. You can see there's a bight at the top and there's a bight at the bottom here. Now, the thing to note with this as well is that this top bight here is actually going to become our loop within the bowline itself. So if you want it bigger, take more through. If you want it smaller, take less through. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit more through because I just want to have a fairly big loop there. So now that I've got this bight here, the next thing I do is I pass that bight underneath the standing end going off to the top there. And you'll see there, my bight's coming under there. I've got a loop formed there, but I can make that loop smaller just by pulling more through. So let's make that a little bit smaller. And now that we've made that smaller, the next thing I want to do is on my right hand side here, that bight that I've got there, I want to pass it over everything. So I'm passing it over everything at that point there. So I'm going to fold it over. And then when I folded, just brought it, so you can see there, just bring it over everything. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go under these two here, so go underneath these two here and bring it out through that loop that we've created there. So take it underneath, just pass it underneath, bring it through, and then what I can do now is just pull up on it, and as I pull up on it, it's tightening up nicely, and you'll now see that we have our bowline in a Bight tied into our cordage. And if I turn it over, you can see then, here's a normal bowline, and you can see then we've got the characteristics of it actually going around the rope at this point here. Same on this one, on the standard bowline, going around the back of the rope, and then we've got this piece here, this loop here, that's actually forming the top part of the bowline knot itself. So you can see the similarities within these two. Okay, so that is the first method of tying the bowline, the single bowline in a Bight. So let's just get on. Let me untie this and we'll do the second method, the different method of tying the bowline in a Bight. Okay, so once again, my cordage is laid out in front of me. At about this point here, we want to put our single bowline in. And so this is the second method of doing it. And the first thing that I do is, at this point here, I form a loop so that my cordage is going around, underneath that one, round, and then over the top, off into the bottom direction there. And what I want to do is I want to pull a bit more through. So I'm going to pull a bit more through like that. Just pull a little bit more through. And the next thing that I'm going to do is that this loop we've created here, which becomes the bowline itself, this loop here, I now pass that underneath the top piece, the one that's going to the top there, pass it underneath, and it's crossed over now at that point. Now that I've done that, the next thing I want to do is I want to bring this bight here, pass it over the one going to the top. So I'm past it over the one going to the top, and then what I'm going to do is then bring it so that it comes through this bottom loop here. So pass it through that bottom loop there, and then pull, and then just pull it through, tighten it up, and then once again we now have ourselves a nice little bowline, a single bowline on a bight. So just pull it up nice and tight and nice and gently, and dress it up smartly, and there we go. We now have our second single bowline. Now the thing with this particular one compared to the first one is, from what I understand, if this one's been loaded quite heavily, it is easier to undo than the first one. So, you know, have a play with them, see which one you like best, if you like any of them best at all. You know, you might have your favourite loop knots. I don't think it replaces the Alpine Butterfly or something like that, you know, because they are specific for their jobs. But if ever you want an inline loop on a piece of rope, then why not learn yourselves the single bowline in a bight. So once again, just leaves me to thank you for watching. And David, if you're out there and tested the last knot, tell me about it, because you did go out testing for me. So once again, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you all again next time. Bye-bye.